How y'all doing out there? How y'all doing out there?
Yes.
Thank y'all for coming in to the Ham Show. This is Wednesday night, 8 p.m. every Wednesday night. How y'all doing? How you doing over there, baby?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
I'm all right. Everything's all right.
Everything is copacetic. Hey, Chris. Chris is in the building.
Hey, Chris.
Hey.
Glad to have you for
It's
another
the
week.
Haminator.
The Haminator, the ham on.
The ham on.
Yeah, the Hamites.
Hamites. What else, Sincere?
Sincere in the building. How you doing, buddy, man? What's going on, y'all? Everybody good out there? Hopefully y'all had a good week.
Yeah.
And we got some things to talk about tonight, man. We got a lot of things to review, a lot of things to go over. We're going to try to keep it at least 10 to 15 to 20 minutes per segment. We're going to try. You know how sometimes we
how sometimes how you get. Let's tell the truth.
Well,
Let's tell the truth.
We overcook stuff every now and then, you know what I'm saying?
You be extra out, you be going in and stuff.
I be trying to do what I do. Hopefully y'all enjoy. Yeah, the world is crazy right now. We got a lot going on out there.
It's always crazy. It just gets crazier.
But yeah, if you're just now chiming on in, go ahead and hit a like for the algorithm for us and subscribe and send it out to the homie and let them know we own tonight.
You get a subscription.
Right.
You get a subscription.
Right.
You get a subscription.
Right. Hand them out. Everybody just go ahead and subscribe or send the post out to the homies and let them know that we rocking tonight. And you know how it is. But I'm Sean Cheltenham and I'm one of the hams.
I am Treasure Cheltenham, and I, too, am one of the hams.
She's one of the hams, y'all.
And this is the Ham Show.
This is the Ham Show. Y'all chime in.
Welcome.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. with us.
Day. What up, Vanetta in the building?
Hey, Vanetta, how you doing?
Yeah.
Chris in the building. Darian in the building.
See, y'all, that's what's
Sincere in the building. Vanetta in the building. What's cracking, y'all? How's everybody doing? He said, FYI, I've been busy as hell. Who is that, Chris?
Yeah, he says, I've been busy as hell. I'm still following you. This will be my last night participating for a minute. About to go into surgery, left arm.
Oh, man. What you do, Chris? Wow.
Well, first and foremost, we'll all take a moment to send positive energy to Chris before he goes into his surgery, whenever he goes. And everything comes out amazing. And
good wishes to you.
Yeah, good wishes and fast healing time.
Hope you don't come back as a super soldier or nothing like that.
He might. You never know.
We don't want you as the next Marvel member and shit.
I mean, it'll be cool because he'll be my friend. So, I'll be like, hey, I know that guy.
But yeah, hopefully everything's good all in all. And, everything goes well.
Yeah, man. Vanetta says she is amazing.
Well, that's good.
That's one of you look amazing. You look fabulous, darling. And prayers going out to you, Chris, from Vanetta. So we all looking out. He pulled a tendon.
Oh, okay.
Bicep tendon repair. You was over there lifting too much weight, Chris.
You was over there trying to
getting them curls in,
pushing them rhymes like weights over there.
He's over there doing it.
No problem, Vanetta. We will make sure that everybody gets recognized. And yes, you do looking good on the picture there on your picture profile.
Getting old sucks. No, it don't.
All right, so this first video is obvious, I guess. I don't
know which one you're gonna show, but I'm here for it. I'm here for it tonight.
Let me segue you into the video. This video is about the new IDs that's required to travel.
Oh, I've been had mine.
So it went down on the 2nd of May.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so you can't travel with a regular ID anymore. You have to.
Damn, I thought they was going at least give you a 30-day countdown.
No, they gave you 7 years. Was it 10 years? No?
Yeah, they gave us, I want to say it was a little over 5 years, something like that.
Yeah, personally, I don't have the ID with the star on it, but I do have something else that allows me to travel.
Right.
Without any issues. Let me go ahead and play the bean footage for y'all.
Roll that beautiful bean footage, y'all.
Let me bring it up, and here we go. Where we at?
Sincere says it's been 5 years.
Yeah.
The deadline to get your real ID quickly approaching.
Yes, starting next Wednesday, which is May 7th, every air traveler 18 years of age and older must have a real ID compliant ID or another acceptable form of identification, especially if you want to fly domestically. So joining us to continue the conversation is TSA spokesperson Lori Dankers. Lori, nice to see you once again. We're quickly approaching this deadline after all this time.
You know, it's been 20 years in the making. Congress originally passed the Real ID law in 2005. It was based on a recommendation of the 9/11 Commission to strengthen the standards when state issue driver's license and photo IDs. And we're finally to the point of enforcing it. Talking about a long time, finally here. I'm pleased to say that enforcement will begin on May 7th, 2025 at airports across the country.
So what do travelers need to have in order to fly both domestically and internationally starting next Wednesday, May 7th? And how can they tell if their license or identification card is Real ID compliant?
Let's start with the second question first, and that is in Washington State, the Real ID compliant credential will say enhanced driver's license. If you have that, then go ahead. You'll be able to show that to the TSA officer. You're going to go through the identity verification process like you've been used to doing for several years. No problem, smooth and efficient. If your license says not for federal purposes, that you cannot show that to the TSA officer and expect that to be used to verify your identity. The good news is TSA accepts multiple forms of identification. We have the full list on tsa.gov. It's everything from military IDs, military dependent IDs, passports, passport cards, those trusted traveler cards, if you're a trusted traveler with the Department of Homeland Security, tribal IDs from federally recognized tribes. The list goes on and on. Lawful permanent resident cards work as well. So the list is long. Chances are you're all ready for enforcement to begin on May 7th, but review the list to make sure, take an inventory of what you have available so that you can use it.
So I guess, Lori, the big question is, what happens if someone shows up to the airport without a real ID or other accepted forms of ID? And I'll note, we had a reporter out at SeaTac a couple of days ago, and I think was being told by some of the passengers there that they're being asked by TSA agents, when are you planning to come back? Because you might be compliant now, but come next Wednesday, you might not be compliant based on what ID you have, just because that new law is now kicked in.
Yes. So that is the question I'm asked most often. What's going to happen to me if I don't have one? I'm going to tell you, you're a procrastinator. We've been talking about this for a long time. And so anyone who does not have the enhanced driver's license from Washington, if you're a resident in Washington or the other acceptable form of identification TSA accepts, you can expect to be delayed, and the length of the delay will be determined by the number of people who also aren't prepared for Real ID enforcement. Also, you can expect additional screening, and you risk being turned away from the security checkpoint if you cannot confirm you are who you say you are. Now, that's the process now. If you've lost your wallet, we're going to put you through a process. If you can't confirm who you are, you risk being turned away. So I'm not trying to use that as a threat. I'm just saying that's always the case if you cannot prove your identity. So keep that in mind. You need to arrive extra early if you aren't ready for Real ID enforcement. That's the message I'm trying to get to people. But keep this in mind, that your Real ID personal enforcement date is the date that you travel next. Wednesday just happens to be one of the lowest travel volume days of the week for TSA, but we know we're going to be going into Mother's Day weekend. That's a big travel time. Memorial Day at the end of the month. Of course, when school ends at the middle of to late June, people are going to be traveling. So that may be.
All right, y'all get the point. So what do y'all think about the new ID things, new ID situation? So basically, to just give you a little bit of backstory, this act came in when 9/11, when them dudes drove the airplane in between the buildings over there. So they figured that if they put this thing on, it would be another deterrent for keeping crazy.
Here's the problem though. It doesn't okay, when I got mine, they didn't want anything really extra. So
some people have so there's been videos out there where if you didn't have it or you're just now getting your license, you got to have like a whole bunch of stuff. You got to have your birth certificate, you have to have a bill, you got to have like a whole list of.
I mean, but that's okay. Yeah, that's the stuff that I had to have.
But they already had yours, like you was already a licensed person. It wasn't like you were reproving who you were. You was just getting a real ID. You see what I'm saying?
So
But
all I had to bring in was a bill and my birth certificate.
exactly. So, but
So,
the
but the
other
initial
folks got to bring a
process-
bunch of stuff.
What's the initial process like if this is your first time getting one?
I don't know. I'd have to look at the DMV records, but
Okay.
we could probably get that information later.
Okay, we got a few messages. Yeah, Sincere says, so the other IDs aren't real. Another money grab, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure.
No, Darren, you're not the only one on Facebook.
It's not that they're not real. It's that you can't fly interstate to interstate without the new ID or passport. But I believe, Sincere, you military, ain't you?
Yeah. So
if you military, you can use your military card.
I think it was just another way to make sure people who were they say they are, especially for travel purposes. I think that's really the biggest thing.
Just for the sake of the show, I'm gonna go ahead and post the acceptable if it'll show up. There it goes. So those are the list of the acceptable. You could have a state issued enhanced driver's license, which is the real ID. And then you can have a U.S. passport card, DHS Trusted Traveler's card. You can have a U.S. Department of Defense ID, permanent resident card, border crossing card, an acceptable photo ID issued by a federally recognized tribal nation. You have HSPD 12, foreign government issued passport, Canadian provincial driver's license, or Indian or North American Affairs Canada card. You can have transport worker identification credential. You can have a U.S. citizen and immigration service employment card, or you can have a U.S. merchant mariner credential or the veteran health identification card. Everything after that or anything before that is not going to be acceptable. Let me go ahead and stop sharing that and go back to the original screen.
Chris says I have it. The thing I don't understand is what it was all about. They didn't ask for anything different when I got my real ID than when I got my first ID in Vegas. So my question is this: who the hell were they giving IDs to that didn't have all that stuff? That's a good question, because in reality, who are you giving it to? That since all of a sudden now it's got to be a real ID.
How to get
your real ID.
Real
Wendell
ID.
West is in the building. Mr. West, the greatest realtor in Vegas. He says, you guys are an amazing couple and great parents. Women say there's no good men. There is you. Need to be a good woman and he will find you. Yeah, that's
also
true.
Here is the
It's definitely true.
Here is the thing. Thanks, Mr. Wendell West, for that. So you have to obtain a real ID in Nevada, and I'm sure it's the same all over the other states. You will need to visit a DMV office in person and present the required documentation. This includes proof of identity, any name changes if applicable, your social security number, and 2 documents providing your residence of where you live. You will also need to bring original certified copies of those documents.
Certified copy? You don't have certified copy of a bill?
No, not bills, but for like your proof of identity. If you have a name change, it has to have a certified copy. If it's a social security number, you need to have the card. You need to have, I'm sure some people gonna need birth certificates and all that stuff. You're gonna have to have the real certified copy. Can't be copies of it where you be like, hey, homie, here it is.
I took a copy of the copy.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
I got
so
you.
it's got to be all that. But if you are already in the system, you've already gave them a birth certificate when you were 16 or whatever, whenever you got your stuff, and a proof of residency. So you already done that.
They probably still might make you ask for it though.
I know if you have a name change, they're gonna be looking for certified documents. I've even heard people, the DMVs asking them for their divorce records.
Really?
Yeah. So
that's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see if I can pronounce your name correctly, and if I don't, don't beat me up. Okay, is it Anabaku? I think I got it right. But he says, I don't hate it because I always carry a passport and they give a large list of stuff you can use.
Right.
Yeah, they do. He says, but I see how it can be a problem for some people. Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be more so a hindrance, especially in the beginning phases of it.
I mean, how many people will be missing their flights in the next 2 weeks?
Yeah, it's going to be a lot. And it's
Yeah.
going to be a lot of mad people because they've been saying this, though.
Well, according to stats, they were saying about 80% of the population has got some form of ID so they can fly. So
Right.
it's the other 20% that's going to have a problem.
Right. Chris says, Bashan, you had to have that shit for an ID before the real ID came out. Right.
True. And I'm not negating any of that. What the thing is that without, when you go to the airport, this is where the problem lies.
Here says the same thing. I have a real ID passport card, military, and honestly, they didn't ask for anything different from getting a driver's license the first time. They only asked for more money to renew that part.
Right. So I would think that particular service for people who had their credentials, it should have been discounted or free. You know what I'm saying? Because you do got to pay for the materials of the card and the picture. And,
Right.
I mean, there are people that you paying to do that.
Right.
So,
no, I get that part.
So you got to pay for that stuff. But Chris, what I was about to say is that the DMV part, I don't think is the case for people who have already been identified.
Mm-hmm.
It's when you go to the airport, if you don't have those credentials, you cannot fly. They will not allow you to fly at all. And if you have a problem, you can go to jail.
Okay.
So if you arguing and talking about, you holding the line up, they're gonna be like, garçon. And
so
then,
basically, if you come in with the ID that says not for federal use,
yep,
and you don't have your
passport or something equivalent,
or a birth certificate,
that's pretty much that 14 things I read off the thing
to go along with
you
that.
cannot fly. And if you give them static, they ain't gonna wait for you to figure it out. Yeah, they just gonna jump on you.
Jordan wants to know if he can have his AMC movie card to travel.
Yeah, I'm sure you could, but it's probably not going to allow you to get on the plane.
Chris says real ID requirements are no different than before. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I was just going through the new ones. He says, no, Sean, when I got my real ID, I had to bring all that shit over again.
Oh, they made you redo it.
Yeah, even though I showed them that stuff.
Well,
when I got
you
my
go
first
right there.
license
They're basically making sure nobody had no fraudulent IDs out there too. So if you trying to basically,
Chris says, I don't want to hear people bitching about this. It's been a thing for years now. No, it has, because I've had my real ID for so long,
right?
That when I renewed, it was like I was like, oh shit, I forgot I already done it. So I just had to do a renewal.
And when the act went in, the act came 2 years after 9/11. That was a long time ago.
I don't remember that part, to be honest.
Yeah, that's why this act is here. It's not a 5-year ago act. This happened right after 9/11. When they went into the Patriot Act. So when the Patriot Act hit, this stuff was a part of it.
So I didn't know about that part. All I know is that within like the last 5-6 years, it was a big push for it.
Yeah,
because they kept telling people, "Hey,
because
you gotta
people
go
weren't getting it."
Right. Darian says this, all the states have a star, right? I think that the standard is the story on the right corner of the identification card.
Right.
Yeah, it's that little so for Nevada, I don't know how it is for everybody else, but for Nevada, in that top right corner, you have that little gold star.
So it's called the real
star for Marcus.
You guys, it's called the Real ID Act, and it was of 2005. That's how long ago it's been. 20 years.
Says, so what if you're under the age of 18? If you are getting an identification card, you need to have that real ID.
So if you're
16,
you have any type of ID. If you need to fly, you got to have that. If you're under
13,
if you're under 16, you should be able to fly with the birth certificate and all the rest of that.
Right, and like maybe a school ID.
Yeah, school ID.
But like if you are getting any type of federally issued ID or driver's license, you need to get the one that's called the real one now.
Yeah.
So now they're not playing no more. They've been pushing this for the last few years. And then Chris says, I can't believe people even talk about this anymore.
Well, it's been on the news, and we like to cover the latest hotness and the latest top things that are going on.
So for Bonetta, your situation is different. She says, I'm just asking for my daughter. She's 17 and she has a driver's license, but she travels on August 5th. She joined the Navy and she will be going into boot camp in Chicago. Because she joined the Navy, she will have the proper identification through that alone. So she's not going to have to worry.
It depends, because they don't get their cards until they get there. So I would call TSA, let them know your situation. And then
I don't think you're going to need to do that because she's now going to be traveling through the military. The military is going to take care of all of that.
Well, hopefully.
I mean, once she Now, once she leaves the military,
I'm
and
just talking about for
becomes-
peace of mind, though. Like, call.
I mean,
it's
yeah,
a simple
definitely,
phone call.
definitely make the phone call if
Yeah.
you want to know. But once you become what I like to say, a ward of the state,
Yeah.
they got you.
Yeah, if you military, that's
They got you.
Yeah, you government property.
You government property,
Yeah,
so they're gonna make sure
government
that
issue.
their property goes where it's supposed to go. Is all I'm saying. And peace and blessings to you and your daughter, man. Safe, just
Travels.
a safe life
Yeah,
and
safe
travels
travels,
for
yeah.
her. Chris says, wait, did I skip somebody?
I don't know.
Chris says this is like old news. It is, but now
Yeah.
it's they're enforcing it.
Right.
And so now you're gonna hear a lot of people. Jordan says they got the star in Arizona. Okay. So yeah, I guess that's gonna be the thing. Under 18 is a school ID, right? Unless you have a driver's license. Yes. So if you get any type of government or federal issued ID, like a driver's license or an ID card, you would have to get the real ID. So just be prepared to bring that stuff down there. I believe it's a bill, social security card, birth certificate.
Oh,
And
by the
then-
way, I forgot to tell you guys that last video was from Kumo News. That was from Kumo News. That's a fair use video.
By Kumo.
That was from Kumo News. Okay, so this next video is a brief synopsis of what's going on. This just came out like less than an hour ago, so this is kind of like breaking news. I'm gonna go ahead and let it rip. I'm not gonna tell you what it is. I'm just gonna let it fly, and then we could talk about it then and see what people think about it. Let me go ahead and get it.
That's a good question. Darian says, "Is all the truck drivers got to speak English now? Is that in law?"
That was in law since I looked that up. That was in law since 1917.
I mean, you would think.
And Biden administration took down the restrictions for that particular provision inside the law. So did Obama.
Mm-hmm.
And then Trump basically reenacted they basically loosened the laws. And then Trump said, no, we're not loosening shit. This is how it's going to be.
Right before you press play, real quick, as we can see, Chris says, "Hoorah!" to your gangster daughter, Bonetta. He enlisted on his 17th birthday as well. And to confirm, Chris and Sincere both says yes, because she will be traveling with the military, she'll have orders on her.
Oh, okay.
And she will be fine.
Yeah,
which is what I thought. She's now traveling with the military. She don't need none of that shit until she becomes a regular citizen again.
Y'all ready?
We ready?
That breaking news on the campus of Columbia University. Good evening. I'm Natasha Berman.
And I'm Steve Lacey. Take a look at this video. Dozens of pro-Palestinian protesters arrested after the university says they forced their way into Butler Library, interrupting students studying for exams. The mayor's office saying Columbia asked the NYPD to remove the demonstrators. Of course, this brings back memories of last spring's protests on campus at Columbia.
Fox 8's Linda Schmidt covered those extensively and is back out live at Columbia tonight with the latest on these protests and the arrests that have been made. Linda.
That's right. And here we go again. First of all, good evening to both of you. The NYPD telling me tonight that at least 75 protesters were arrested here tonight. Now, the acting president of Columbia University saying she had no choice but to call in the NYPD because the takeover here at Butler Library, right here behind me, one of the rooms, it got violent. And the university believes that many of the people in that group, many of those people are not even students. Go ahead, take a look at this video here, because this is some of the stuff that was posted on X today. Actual students, they were trying to study inside the library.
They standing on the tables in the back with the bull
one
horn.
of the students that I spoke with by phone telling us that she was terrified. About 100 anti-Israel, pro-Palestinian protesters stormed the library on campus late this afternoon. And then just outside the building, some students, actual students, clashed with the protesters. Now, initially, the university's newly formed public safety team of officers tried to handle the situation. They arrested 3 of the protesters, but 2 of the officers ended up getting injured. Columbia's acting president then called in the NYPD, the department's strategic response group, in riot gear, moved in, and within a short amount of time arrested at least 75 protesters who had refused to leave, all of them wearing masks.
All right, y'all. So what y'all think about that?
So wait, what the
That was breaking news an hour ago.
Chris says, so again, sheesh, these protesters are something else.
And you thought just going to the grocery store was crazy.
Man, listen. And I'm sorry, I was too busy eating on popcorn. What was they protesting about again?
The Palestinians in Gaza and all that stuff.
Okay.
At the schools, though.
So what, they over there tripping on at the school?
Well, first of all, people pay a lot of money to be at these schools.
Yeah, they do. I know.
And these type of disturbances shouldn't be permitted at all. Every last one of them people should go to jail. Reason being is because it's not a public place.
Was that a public or a private school?
That was Columbia University.
Is it private or public?
I'm sure it's half and half, but the people who go there, everybody who goes there patronizes the place. They pay to be there.
So if I paid to be here and I ain't paid to see no protest.
Right. So it's like going into Walmart, shutting Walmart down, standing on the register and talking about free Ghazians or whatever they talking about over there. Free the Palestinians.
While I'm trying to get my tissue.
Exactly. So basically that's what it is.
As long as I can still get checked out, I don't even really care.
The thing is like last time they did that, people couldn't even go to graduation. They shut the school down.
Really?
So they paid,
that's crazy.
$80,000 a year to go to school.
And now I can't walk the
stage. And now you can't walk the stage because they doing stuff like this.
Oh yeah,
you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's not fair to the people who's actually trying to make a way for themselves.
Yeah, no, that's
whether they take an underwater basket weaving or whatever.
And the crazy part about it is nobody thinks about that part while they're protesting.
Mm-hmm.
They just like, I'm trying to get my point across. I don't think they're thinking about, I'm just want to shut down what you got going on.
Right.
So it's kind of fucked up.
Go in front of Washington, D.C. and do that.
Yeah, do it where it matters.
Right.
Darian says, what was the protest about? All of the bullshit, for lack of better words, all of the bullshit that's going on.
It's for the people in Palestine. They're over there protesting for the Palestinians.
Set alarm for the U.S. government to do something because they protesting here in America. What's your other video you got? I know you got some.
Oh, I got plenty. He
said, I got plenty.
Hold on.
We getting into some stuff today.
Oh, let's go into this. This is pretty cool. Let me load this one up.
He's rolling that beautiful bean footage.
All right.
I'm pop popcorn every time for the show now.
Oh, are you?
Mm-hmm. I think it's gonna be good.
All right.
Expected to some small businesses.
So the terrorists is making this so people who can't get their weaves, their weaves is costing 3 to 10 times more than what it's supposed to cost. And now everybody mad about it because they can't get their weaves. So here it go.
Hey, Mom.
Tariffs are expected to cripple some small businesses, including those in the beauty industry. What some owners are doing to protect their bottom line. Local business owners say impacts of Trump administration imposed tariffs are trickling down and causing headaches. Today, I talked with 2 women who own a beauty supply store in Mableton. They say they're trying their best to do good business, but also not make it unbearable for their customers.
Your total is $10.59 today.
For Dana and Sharis.
All right. See you later.
It's a family environment inside Zoet Beauty Supply in Mableton.
We just pray that God keeps continuing to cover us.
But now they are asking for divine protection as they say Trump imposed tariffs against China. It's impacting prices.
At this point, it's no longer possible. They are here in full effect. The prices have gone up extremely high.
Trump hiked tariffs on China to a staggering 145%. It's making it difficult for some Chinese businesses to continue trading with the United States.
I imagine that some of us may not have the budget to continue. Most of the stuff now that we are paying for, the price that we're going to charge is the price that we were charging the customers. So of course we can't stay in business if we keep the prices the same. So now we're working on making sure that, the margins are still there, but making sure that we are, not making it unbearable for our customers.
The business owners say they they are trying to be as transparent as possible with their customers so they don't have sticker shock. I'm told hair is the first item that the cost went up on.
All right. Thank you, Tiffany. And as I mentioned, we appreciate your ongoing support.
As there seems to be no end in sight, they say now is the time to support your local businesses.
Now it's just a waiting game just to see, okay, which vendor is going up next. And we only go up when they go up. We're not going up across the board because that's just not fair to the customers.
Like I said, man, fat folks ain't mad because Twinkies went up $2. I mean, they still buying Twinkies.
The fact that all y'all is laughing though. It started out with Mom. We just gonna look at this. And then Chris comes right behind her. Weaves.
Yep. They can't afford their weaves, man. The Temu weaves has got too much.
George says it's time to stop wearing them damn weaves and be beautiful with your natural look.
Right. You better get your afro popping.
Listen. Darian says, hey, this is not an issue. They can just go natural. Sorry, Queen.
Yeah, well, you see that lady, how sad her face was. She was like, a tea.
So it's gonna make you do. Listen, the tariffs is gonna do what I've been saying they gonna do. It's gonna make businesses be businesses again. It's gonna make people get up and go, you know what? I'm gonna open this up. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that because I need it to be cheaper. I need it to be right.
They need to go on and learn how to make hair at home.
Hey, you gonna have people chasing down. A lot of these horses is gonna be missing their tails. It's about to go down.
Yeah, that was too funny.
I do believe we are going to feel it in more significant places. Yeah, I mean, I knew somebody was gonna bring this up at some point with the whole hair thing,
right?
But I mean, we're already starting to kind of feel it. Like there was some stuff I went to go order, and they was like, "We don't ship to your country anymore." And I was like, "Damn!" I was like, "Oh my, okay then. I don't want no problems." But see, I don't get offended because, like, the stuff that I'm trying to get is stuff that's right here anyway. You know what I'm saying? I just want to pay a cheaper price for it. I want to pay wholesale for it.
No, I mean, let's really talk. Let's really talk about this.
But it's not food.
No, hold on.
Not agriculture.
Hold on. Ever since these tariffs came out, people been talking about, well, how we gonna get our products? How we gonna get this? How many TVs can you buy, man?
Every year.
How many remotes can you get? You know what I'm saying?
How many Bluetooth?
Right. I mean, how many Bluetooth earpieces or the hat with the fan in the front so you can get your heat right in the winter, in the summertime? Like, how much of this stuff do you need?
Because realistically, the stuff that we're getting, it's not apples
it's just
and oranges.
Stuff.
It's electronics.
Right.
It's clothing. It's shoes. It's hair.
Right. Yeah. Come on,
man.
I
mean? Like,
I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die because I can't get my.
Because I can't dye my grays black.
Right.
Like, come on, man, y'all. It's so much other things that we could be talking about.
Right.
Chris says, funny as hell. Not that my opinion matters, but the most beautiful black women I've ever seen are very natural. They don't wear that shit.
Right.
I know that's right, Chris.
Right.
Darius said, a real serious question. Do you think we're going to head into a recession if this keeps up, or is this our actually upside to all of this? Well, we currently are in a recession.
Well, no, not technically. Technically, we're not. The
you said, hold on, technically.
In the inflation right now is at 2.something%. The market is doing well. In order for us to be in a recession, we have to have 3 consecutive months of a downturn in the market.
So we done came out.
We wasn't in a recession. We was just having ups and downs.
We was trying to go in there. We had 1 foot in and 1 foot out.
Right. I mean, when Trump came into presidency, I think inflation was up to about 11 or 12%. Now it's down to 2.something%. We're almost hitting 2, and that's why he's mad at the dude from the Fed, because he won't bring interest rates lower so people can borrow more money.
Since we're
down to 2%.
Yeah.
So
he like, look at the numbers, fool.
Yeah. So
let these people buy some stuff.
So that's the real thing.
the reality is the cost of cars and parts are going to go up.
How many cars you gonna buy?
Here's the thing with that. I don't think so. And let me tell you why. Because we already have.
They can't even sell the inventory they got.
Exactly.
If you look at,
hold on. We already have Tesla and Rivian, which is American made, and people are buying those like they're like hotcakes.
And they burning them up too.
And then we got, who is it, Hyundai, who just came to America and was like, we're gonna start producing cars in America now. So I don't think that the cars and the parts are going to go up. I think what's going to happen is they're going to come back here.
They're going to bring more jobs.
It's going to bring jobs back.
They're going to bring more jobs.
They've already started doing it. They've already started opening up warehouses here.
Honestly, I don't believe those tariffs are going to be permanent. They're just a deterrent to get people to come back so they can bring jobs back to the United States. So
Chris said, yeah, no shit. I have 8 TVs and 1 projector in my house.
But yeah,
and a motorcycle.
I mean, I just bought I got a Chevy Silverado. I just bought a headlight. AutoZone wanted to charge me $125 for a headlight. I got online on Amazon and I got it for $40. So really, I didn't hurt nothing.
Nah, but see, the difference between him is that somebody else would have went and been like, oh man, and they would have paid the $125, not taking the time to go see if you could get it somewhere cheaper. People are lazy.
I do my homework.
Oh, I know. You and I both.
Yeah.
People are lazy. They're not going to do that. Chris says, Darian, I honestly think we are in for a bumpy road. They managed to sell out the USA over the past 26 years since China joined the World Trade Organization. It's going to take time to bring America back.
And then when they joined, and I agree, when they joined the trade organization, no one put sanctions on them and said, well, you can't do this and you can't do this and you can't do this. Right. Let's not talk about all the intellectual property that they're stealing from us too. Every time, y'all got to remember.
No, that's a huge thing. Speak on that.
Y'all got to remember, every time we go to China and build something with China, they allow us to come build there if we put money into China. And then they take our product and then Temu the shit and then send it back to us
and make us pay triple what they made it
so
for.
After they stole it from someone else, that's not cool.
So I mean, let's not forget about that. Darian says, so how are the hoarders going to be able to survive this tariff act? Not the hoarders. I'm done, Darian. Mom says, I'm sorry, they will go up due to components.
Yeah, we're building. They got a factory going in Texas that where we're going to build components. We're going to be building our own chips. Give it. A
lot of the stuff that's already here, though. A lot of it, because I know of companies right now. I know a company right now in Fountain Valley that does computer chips.
Right.
And all they got to do is just say, we need you guys to make these.
We need to change over and do this. Just like they did.
These.
Just like everybody in America made hand sanitizer when the COVID came around.
All of a sudden it was everywhere. Everybody had a brand.
Ford stopped the factory just to make hand sanitizer. I
right.
mean, come on now. Like we got it here.
Jordan says, so I'm in logistics working in the auto industry, and our costs have gone up for the parts we sell based off of the tariffs. Okay, well, here's somebody's actually mentioning it.
Right.
So he's saying that the parts have gone up for the components.
Right.
We're going to see how
long
they
will,
lasts.
and it'll be temporary. It ain't going to be forever.
I don't think that it will be permanent, but Amazon will go up too.
Yeah.
I think they already started.
They're already going up. Remember, so I didn't do this last week because I just thought it was crap. But Amazon threatened to put the actual tariff prices on when you bought it. So when you bought it, it would show the tariff price and the price that they sell. Yeah, but they wouldn't tell them the margins though. So they willing to tell what everybody else doing, but they don't want to tell them what their margins are.
Oh, come on, now
but they didn't. They happened not to do it. So it didn't happen.
Man,
so I didn't
be fair.
I didn't talk about it last week because it didn't happen.
Jordan says, my company purchased a whole lot of product from China to try and get ahead of the tariffs.
Right.
Yeah, because they knew it was coming.
So they front loaded the buying process.
Right. Darius says, so how do you balance the money that companies normally don't pay on higher wages? That's not American standard of in-house labor of making money.
Say it again.
How do you balance the money that companies normally don't pay on higher wages? That's not American standard of in-house labor of making money.
Let me see if I'm understanding what he's asking.
He's basically talking about the sweatshops. How you balance the money that you go that they go lose.
Oh, well, yeah. They're going to have to figure that out, man.
That's what I took from it, Darren. Tell me if I'm wrong or not. So
I wasn't, wrong. I mean, my mind went in like 3 or 4 different places when you said that. But yeah, the cost of wage is going to cause products to be a little bit high, but more people will have jobs, more people have opportunities. Yeah, it's just, I mean, it's a balance of everything.
It's gonna, and the thing about it is, just like they say, the storm before the calm and the calm before the storm. It kind of goes both ways. You're gonna see a lot of disarray before you kind of start to see things smooth and mellow out. I believe Chris, he agrees with Mom. He says, but it will level out over time. Mom says, I am not fighting the terrorists, but we can't be naive that it won't affect us. It will take years.
Yeah, you're correct, Ma. I don't think that me and my wife is naive. I think the people that's on Facebook that I'm arguing with every week is naive.
They have a lack of understanding.
Right. They don't understand. They don't understand that we spent too much money.
Right.
We got to get it back somewhere. Okay,
yeah,
so like let's talk about it. Let's take a minute. I got 5 minutes. Let's talk about it. You have a household budget, right?
Uh-huh.
Your credit cards are maxed out because you bought crap. You didn't buy nothing that you were supposed to buy. You bought a bunch of shit that you wanted.
Right.
And now you're paying for it every month.
The stuff that you wanted.
Right.
Some of it you're already broke.
You couldn't eat it.
You
couldn't do nothing with
it. Nothing with it.
It's
not making no money for you.
It broke within 2 weeks.
Right.
And then now you have to balance your budget because you could no longer afford it, but you still have to pay
for what you bought.
Right. Because you're getting charged every month because of what you paid for. That's the dilemma we're in. A lot of people don't like balancing their budget.
A lot of people get upset. Like balancing that checkbook, period.
A lot of people get upset because they can't go get that $6 coffee from Dutch Bros and them every morning because now they done bought the G.I. Joe with the Kung Fu grip from China for the kids on Christmas. And I know people still trying to get out of debt from Christmas.
2 Christmases ago.
Right. So I'm like, come on, man. So we spent and loaned out too much money.
Right.
We got to get it back somehow.
Right.
So it's gonna hurt. You ain't gonna be able to go to the car wash every day like you used to. You ain't gonna be able to go to the movies every week.
I don't go
like
every
you used
day.
To. I'm just saying what I'm saying.
Every other.
You ain't gonna be able to get that coffee. You got to chill out on some of them cigarettes.
And so I'm glad you said that because I forgot who it was I was listening to. They were talking about some of the things that we do that we don't really normally understand that it adds up.
That man, it be adding up.
Man, okay, like we talked about it before, our pistachio habit we had.
Oh, it was $100, $200 a month.
It was $600.
Yeah, come on now.
It was $600.
And I was slaying pistachios.
And we didn't even realize it because until I just went to go balance the books one day and I was like, and I told him, I says, hey man, you ain't gonna want to hear this, but we finna chill on these pistachios. And he was like, why? I said, because when I tell you what we spending a month on them, you're not going to believe it, but I got the receipts to prove it. And so it was
when I heard the numbers, it was a very quick change in the house.
It was very quick. I was like, we're not doing pistachios in here no more.
No more pistachios for me.
You know what I'm saying?
So I go to Winco and just put a couple in my pocket when we walk by for the produce.
That part right there. Jordan says, and now they're exploring different sources of product to keep our shelves stocked across the nation. Yeah, well, it's not going to take long for somebody to go, let's start making this product that we used to get from so-and-so,
right, because
we can no longer afford to get it from so-and-so. Darian says a lot of it is going to be automated robots. Some of it, I think, is going to be a half and half. AI is definitely taking over. I don't disagree with that.
The thing is that, okay, so everybody's afraid of robots. I think
we got to speak on it, though, as people. Like,
we need to talk about it. It needs to be spoken.
And we need to talk about where we agree for these robots to be versus where we don't want them.
The difference is that, okay, so like back in the day when the car industry came in, right, and they were building by hand, right? Those people learned how to build cars by hand. When the motorized arms came in to help build the cars faster, those people who were there, they aged out. But the ones that were coming in, they had to learn how to do robotics.
Right.
You had to learn how to do computer programming.
Right.
So you can't send your kid, like if you have children now that are going to school for something, they can't be going to school for the old stuff. They got to go to school for the new stuff.
That's all
for the
it
stuff
is.
that's coming out today.
And that's the change that people don't like. And that's the thing. All you got to do is you. It's like if you can't beat them, join them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like you got to figure out a way.
Them machines is coming regardless.
They coming
whether you want them or not.
But here's the thing now that you know they coming, somebody got to program them.
Somebody got to program. Somebody got to change the hydraulics on them. Somebody got to be the electrician to make sure that they work.
You see what I'm saying? So that's where you got to start thinking.
I mean, listen.
Darian says, I need to figure out Canada, because if Canada shut off on electricity, it's going to be a problem.
We don't get much. Only
Canada,
the east,
do we?
the upper states of the rural states close to Canada get electricity and natural gas from Canada, but we have enough to handle them. United States is not. We're just doing deals with them just to be friends. It's not. It has nothing to do with what we actually need from there. There's nothing from Canada that we actually really need, other than their soft wood, because they have a lot of soft wood.
I didn't think we got anything too much from them. Chris says, I agree. He agrees with Mom, but we're damned if we do, and probably more damned if we don't. At some point, we got to turn this ship around.
We're gonna have to eat it. We're gonna have to eat the sandwich with the mold on it.
Darian confirmed that what I was talking about with the sweatshop situation.
Oh yeah. We're gonna have to eat some. We're gonna have to eat some mayonnaise sandwiches and some syrup sandwiches and some government cheese for a little while. And yeah, budgets do matter. Budget life matters.
Yeah. Darian says, what are the economy experts saying that's going to be a recession if it keeps up this way?
The only way we can have a recession right now is if someone's economy completely crashes.
Yeah.
So we would have to have a moment like on COVID. We'd have to have a COVID moment as of right now today.
Don't say that too loud.
I'm just saying what I'm saying.
Don't get no ideas.
Right now, the economy is not that fragile for us to be in a recession right now.
We're actually looking pretty good, to be honest. We're going in a more positive direction with the economy. So in a minute, you're going to look up and it's going to be time to start buying again.
And recessions aren't bad. What we need to be worried about is a depression. So a depression is 6 months of a recession.
That part right
That's
there.
what we need to be worried about.
That part right there. What beautiful bean footage you still got in your Rolodex?
Oh, I got plenty. Hold on.
I know you do. That's why I said.
All right. Let me pull up this next one, y'all. One second. I should have had it ready. I'm sorry.
No, it's
y'all.
all good. I'm gonna keep you. I'm gonna keep you on point.
Ready.
We got a lot of different things we talking about tonight. There was some videos that I did get a chance to kind of skim through. Some of the stuff I didn't watch because I want to give you a authentic response. This one right here is probably going to be the one for the rest of the night because this is one of the most controversial right now.
We're going to try to get through this one. This is trying to get through this one within 20 minutes.
Yeah, let's do it.
We'll see what happens.
Violence in the last several hours. We are following several shootings, including one in Cincinnati where police shot and killed an armed 18-year-old. And then not even 24 hours later, get this, police say the victim's father intentionally drove into the deputy involved in his son's shooting. The deputy is dead. CBS News correspondent Chanel Call is following this story and more from the newsroom. Chanel, what's the latest in that case in Ohio? This is not only one issue of violence, but then a second follow-up issue.
Yeah, Reed, just a tragic story out of Ohio this hour. A man whose teenage son was killed by police in Cincinnati, now accused of killing a sheriff's deputy. Rodney Hinton allegedly rammed his car into that officer. We now know that officer has been identified as Deputy Leary Henderson, a 33-year veteran. Henderson was notably not involved in Hinton's son's death, but want to show you police body camera video of the terrifying moments before officers shot and killed Hinton's 18-year-old son, Ryan Hinton, and want to warn you, it can be a bit tough to watch. So, Reed, police say Ryan Hinton was shot twice and killed by police. This happened on Thursday during a chase after officers had responded to a call about a stolen car. His father, Rodney Hinton, now being held without bond, and police say, as well as his public defender, is saying that he had no felonies on his record. And his public defender also said this was an emotionally charged situation.
Well, and it was a violent weekend. So let's talk about each case one by one, starting with bullets flying in the state of Arizona. What do you?
All right. So what y'all think about that?
Well,
I got into a couple of arguments on Facebook about this, but I'm gonna let y'all go ahead and.
Well, I'm gonna start off by saying it's funny because Chris, right before you played it, Chris said there's things going on, but the media is spinning it a certain way. The news is politically driven.
Right.
The fact that Chris said that in this particular, because when I first saw the post on this saying that the guy was a hero, my first thought process, the way they put it on social media, was that a cop wrongfully killed his son. He turned around the next day and killed the same cop that killed his son. So my first thought process was, well, I mean,
yeah, it happens.
You reap what you sow, and I said that this was going to happen.
But this is not the case.
But this is this is not the case. According to the video that I did see, though, with the kid running, the fact that the kid had a gun, whether he was running from the cop to the cop, towards the cop, or whatever. I mean, let's just be honest and put ourselves in this man's shoes. First and foremost, I say it every day, all day. You could come for me if you like. I do not like the police. So let's just say that. But I'm a person that's a realist. I'm right is right and wrong is wrong. And based on the information that I got, according to what I got and what I saw, the 18-year-old had a weapon, had just committed a crime, to my understanding, and the cop went to go chase him, knowing that this kid has a gun. So then at that point, that
they were yelling at him. They were yelling at him
to stop
when he jumped out the car.
To drop,
you know,
were they yelling to drop the gun or something?
Well,
like that?
I couldn't make out what they were saying, but first of all, the kid had 5 priors.
What was his priors?
Assault, stealing, joyriding. Basically, this is kind of his MO. You know what I'm saying?
So he was a criminal.
He was a criminal,
Okay.
right? His father's a criminal.
I thought the father had nothing, no priors.
That's not true. Father had multiple assault charges.
So like father, like son.
Yeah. So yeah,
he got it honest.
Right. So the father right now is his lawyer is going with the temporary insanity plea for this particular case. I'm gonna go ahead and play a little bit of that video right now. But I just before we play the video, this is what my thing was, is that people are championing this dude that killed the wrong dude.
That's the part that I
like. That's like having a drive-by. You're trying to shoot one dude and you shoot up everybody else, and the dude that you was trying to get is still alive.
Right.
That shit's stupid.
It makes no sense. And you just took out, and then the guy that
I'm not justifying any deaths.
No.
But what I'm saying is like, if you gonna make it a point to go do something, do it to the person
that is deserving of it, for, you know,
or who you think is deserving.
Yeah, not who you think, who you know was the trigger man.
Right, because his son was a piece of shit.
Right. You know, so and here's the thing, like I say, I don't really like the police, but I have said that there's gonna come a time and point where people are gonna get tired. And I think that this is a situation of what this is. And I'm not condoning what this man did. But I think this has come down to
me and you always said that pretty soon they're
gonna just start taking lives.
They're gonna start doing life for life.
It's gonna be blood for blood. So it don't matter that you wasn't the right officer.
Right.
You kill my son, I'm gonna kill one of y'all. And I think that's what happened.
That's not cool, especially this dude. He was volunteering. He was a retired officer.
Right.
And he was working the crosswalk.
Right.
Like he didn't even have a gun on. He had the vest on and the flashlight. Like he wasn't even an officer really. He was a deputized officer.
That's crazy.
But here's some more of that beam footage, y'all. This is the actual guy who did
tonight across Ohio. Flags at half staff in honor of fallen Hamilton County Sheriff's Deputy Larry Henderson.
He was so well liked and so well known. We could fill this building with the law enforcement agencies that respect him, love him.
The recently retired 33-year veteran was working traffic patrol Friday afternoon.
I've got an officer now.
When police say he was intentionally struck by the father of a teen fatally shot the day before by an officer from a different department. Henderson later dying at the hospital.
There is a connection between these two incidents.
38-year-old Rodney Hinton Jr. is now behind bars and charged with aggravated murder. Court documents say the defendant drove across oncoming lanes of traffic through the intersection and directly at the deputy, who was wearing a fluorescent vest.
There are no evidence of skid marks. There are no evidence that he tried to avoid him.
In court, Hinton's public defender calling this an emotionally charged situation. The crash happening less than 3 hours after his family says Hinton met with Cincinnati police to review body camera videos showing the shooting of his 18-year-old son, Ryan Hinton. The videos, now publicly released, show Hinton running and being shot by city police. Cincinnati police say the teen was armed and pointed a gun toward an officer who was responding to a call of a stolen vehicle.
He's got a gun! He's got a gun on your right! On your right!
Hinton was shot about 6 seconds after officers get out of their vehicles.
He wasn't supposed to, Peter. He wasn't. He was scared. He tripped and fell. He must have been so scared. I'm so sorry, Ryan.
We are very close family. This is killing us.
Tonight, the teen's family speaking out with their family attorneys who say they're investigating the shooting.
I'm angry because it shouldn't have never happened. I want to.
So my message is different.
She's angry because it should have never happened.
My message is different, and let me just be real frank on this. You have a family whose lives have been destroyed because they just lost not one but two people, and all of it is because we don't have men being fathers and really being there and teaching their young sons how to be a man when they come up. We have this disconnect in our community where I feel if this boy would have been taught the right things from day one, then he would have never even been in this situation to begin with. He would never been in this situation for his father to even think the way he was thinking had his father been what he needed. And I feel like we really this is the shit we don't talk about.
This is the father's fault.
Absolutely.
This is his fault.
Absolutely.
He obviously didn't train his son on how to deal with things in life. His son's out there joyriding in someone else's car with a gun in his hand. Right. We don't know if the gun was his or not. But the thing is that how you gonna not train your son and then get mad at the world when the world train him?
Right. Because we say this all the time. We even say it to our kids. I've said it to my kids. My job is to teach you so the world don't teach you. Because sometimes the world has a way of teaching you very harshly. You know, and we're rah-rahing and we're saying that this dude is a hero when in reality he's an idiot. And
he's not a hero. He took someone else's father,
right,
from a whole nother precinct.
Right.
He was retired. He wasn't even an active police officer.
Right. He was retired. He put his 33 years in.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I don't know the guy. I don't know what the guy.
I don't know the dude either. But what I'm saying
based on the circumstances, you just took an innocent man's life because you didn't teach your son shit.
Right. And now you mad at the world.
Mad at the world
because the world taught him a lesson.
Yeah. It's sad. It's really sad.
That's not cool. And I don't call that no hero. I think that's a coward. That's the
opposite.
I don't call nobody no hero for doing that. Now, if you went and suck out the dude that did this to your son, well, first of all, if my son did that, I wouldn't be doing this, period. My son was fucking up. He was a fuck up.
And he got caught up.
Now, if my son was he was going to school or coming from church and a cop gunned my son down, yeah, it might be a different story.
Right.
We're not going to talk about the particulars on this particular
No,
atmosphere.
we're not going to do that.
But what I'm saying is
definitely be a different story.
The boy was committing a crime with a deadly weapon in his hand.
Right. So let me stop you. This kid was 18 years old, correct?
I don't know his age yet.
He was 18 years old. Based on previous history for the Black community and the male Black community, you got 3 strikes against you. You're young, you Black, and you got a weapon. What are you doing? What do you think is going to happen to you?
Man, all I'm saying.
And you're involved right now with the police. You're running from the police. What do you think is about to happen to you?
All I'm saying is if you're a father, step up. If you're not doing what you're supposed to do and you're trying to blame everything on everybody else, step up, bro.
What up, sis?
Do what
Cammy
you're
in the
supposed to
building.
do. Handle your kids, or they're gonna get handled by the world.
And I mean, it's really an unfortunate situation, but and again, on this show, dude, we're not gonna sugarcoat nothing. We gonna tell you the way it is, and we're gonna be transparent. We're complaining and saying that this and that happened, that the kid got gunned down by the cop. We're not saying why did the kid get gunned down by the cop. We're not talking about that, and that's the problem with our community. Let's be honest. We don't talk about when we do shit wrong. We don't say, you know what, he was wrong in this situation, and we gotta stand. We gotta stand on that. Now, is it a possibility that he could have had lethal force and all of that? Yeah, but I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. You got a gun. You know
If I'm a police officer,
if I'm
and
a
I've
police
seen you
officer
running
and you're running
with
and you
this
have
gun
a
in your
gun,
hand,
I'm probably gonna do the same thing.
I'm going home before you.
I'm going home. Listen, when I used to carry a weapon,
I'm
that
going
was the
home.
thing that I told the people out there in the streets at the end of the day, when they would, swell up in my face and think they was going to do all this stuff. I'm like, listen, I told my kids at the end of the day that I will see you later. And that's going to happen by any means necessary.
No, and don't get me wrong, this is a tragedy.
It is.
But
It's the tragedy on both sides.
On both sides.
All the way around.
But the real tragedy is from the origin of it. That father didn't do his fucking job.
That's facts. Sincere says the problem is these damn kids don't have no discipline, and the men raising some of these boys and young men don't have any discipline either.
You're correct.
Exactly.
You're correct.
And that's why I say, where are we going to stop for a second and go, wait, can we stop this cycle? Because it's vicious as hell, man. Like, it's a consistently vicious cycle, and we're watching it happen, but nobody's really putting forth the effort to stop it. And let me correct that. I won't say that nobody.
It ain't enough.
Obviously, not enough. You got this man here.
I'm not enough.
Who his father put forth an effort.
My
to
father's
stop
not
it.
enough.
His father's father put forth an effort to stop it, and so far, but it's not enough. It's really
and the
not
reason
enough.
why I say, and I'm not discounting my father or his father or the father.
no, I
before.
understand.
What I'm saying is it's not enough is because the stigmata of people who look like me is why that is happening. First thing a cop gonna do is pull his gun because he's afraid of what he looked like.
Right.
And it's because we did it. We the ones made our kids this way.
Right.
It's our fucking fault.
This is facts. This is facts, because we're not teaching them that you already and that's the thing that we taught our kids, that you already got something on you that you didn't ask for because of the color of your skin. So it's your job to show people that we're not all that way. And so we got to start teaching that. And we got to start standing on it. We got to start actually not just teaching it, but doing it. You have to be a representation of what you want to be treated like. And if you're not a representation of that, then you got to start digging deeper to be that. But you can't ask to be treated with respect and be treated like like royalty, and you're not acting that way. Chris says a lot of men aren't allowed to be fathers because of family courts. Bro, listen. And that was something that I'm not even going to touch on, because I understand it and I see it. And it's another sad situation, which will be another show. But I see a lot of that too, where the man can't even be a daddy to break the cycle.
Family court is messed up. And yes, America did weaponize black men, but we know the game. We know the playing field.
But because we know
we know the chess game.
Yeah, we already know what's happening, but it's like we just like,
we know the chess game.
It's like we're succumbing to it. We're succumbing to, like, you know what? We know that they treat us like that, so fuck it, let them do it. It's
right. And in this next video, after I play this, I got 2 more videos to show you. And the last one is why.
Sincere says
this is why we hot.
Sincere says we got away from a village raising our children what our ancestors taught us. Yeah, and then mom says, but his father should have taught him.
You're right, mom. His mom should have did it. His father should have did his job, and then you wouldn't have your grandma up there talking about what they do to my baby.
Right.
Why you wasn't teaching him?
Right.
Next one, y'all. Here we go. This one is critical news. This just came out this morning. Y'all check this out.
Who this?
This is Fox News.
We have breaking news. The Supreme Court has lifted a temporary nationwide injunction that had blocked the Trump administration from banning transgender people from serving in the military. The nation's highest court ruled along party lines 6-3 to reinstate the ban while the litigation continues in lower court. This was one of the first actions taken by the president following the start of his second term. A district court judge blocked the policy, calling it, quote, de facto blanket prohibition on transgender service. The court's 3 liberal judges said they would have kept the policy on hold. CBS News legal contributor Jessica Levinson joins us now. She's a professor at Loyola Law School in Los Angeles. Jessica, break down this decision for us. What more do we know?
I think you were very clear in the sense of this is about the Supreme Court saying that injunction can be lifted, meaning the ban can be implemented for now. This is not the Supreme Court having heard robust oral arguments, having received briefing. The Supreme Court is not ruling on, in brief, the merits. The Supreme Court is just ruling on whether or not the ban on the ban, meaning the injunction, could stay in place while this case plays out. And the court here, 6-3, apparently along ideological lines, is saying that that ban can be implemented while the case continues to play out. We should also note that there's another case in DC where a district court judge implemented a preliminary injunction. The appellate court in that case, the DC Circuit Court of Appeals, is hearing arguments about whether or not that should become a permanent injunction. So I just want people to know this isn't the final word on this particular executive order.
And so you mentioned as this plays out in the lower court, what is...
All right, guys, what y'all think about this?
Chris says, I love you, Chris. Oh, yeah, trans in the military. I can't believe this was ever an issue. Honestly, given my experience going to war, I honestly don't see how this ever was allowed in the first place. It's medical. It's a medical issue. Dude, if I don't agree with that.
Yeah, man. I agree that's a medical issue. The problem with the trans thing is that the dudes that want to be girls is trying to be in the girl barracks. The girls that want to be dudes is trying to be in the dude barracks. They're not trying to follow the gender rules of the situation.
Do they still have their parts?
Yeah, but they're looking like if it's a dude, it's looking like a woman instead of,
and then trying to be in there with the dude.
Exactly. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, that's where the real problem is.
Yeah. Bless up, Benjamin is in the building.
Ben Jenkins in the building. What up? Bless up, bro.
Chris says the military can't do it. They just can't. The issue is the care trans people require. It's not no different than diabetic or anyone with the condition requiring chronic care treatments. So I feel like that's why some of them go to the military. So that they can get free medical and they can get this stuff that has to keep, because they got to take testosterone. They got to take things like if it's a female transitioning to a male, she got to take testosterone
all the time. Yeah.
She got to take the stuff to keep her voice deep.
They got to get regular blood tests.
Yeah, to try to not get her titties to grow back and whatever else she got going. She got to take so much stuff. And the opposite.
And now the military would have to pay for that.
Now they got to pay for that, and it's like
they barely trying to pay for that.
Exactly. They like it's dudes in here who really got issues that, like you say, this diabetic, they got asthma, they got whatever they may have, and I got to take care of that. So I'm not going to take care of you because you want to have a penis. Like this is that don't make sense. Darian says, I like what you guys are saying on this subject. It's very true, but there are a lot of people that are just don't have that luxury of good moral standards. It's just all dysfunctional and they don't know. Yeah, and I think you were talking about
the kid.
You're talking about the kid, and I agree. But that's what I'm saying. Like we're going away from the village thing. You know what I'm saying? When we talked about how it takes a village, when you see something going wrong now today, especially with social media, we just turn our heads and be like, it ain't my business. That boy, or we say that boy ain't got no daddy. Look at him. And we just go on about our business. We don't get involved anymore because people get belligerent, it get violent. It even ends in death sometimes when you're trying to just help a person be better. So, I mean, I get it, but it's like, damn, how do we really break that cycle? Chris says there are some black guys, not all and very few, that can't shave their faces because their facial hair will grow back into their skin. It's an issue, the ingrown hair thing, yes. What happens if they got to put on their gas mask? The military deals with it the best they can. As a leader, I handled it delicately because there's nothing the guy can do. So he was only required when absolutely necessary to shave. And so he was talking about the stuff that happens in the military when we were talking about the trans.
Yeah, that's why they came up with like magic shave and the rest of that stuff. so their
because
hair doesn't grow back
they would get
into.
the black
I used to
men
know
do
a lot of
have that.
homeboys'
Yeah.
fathers when I was a kid used magic shade because
Oh, and
their
that
hair.
shit stink too.
Yeah.
My brother had to
It's
use
like it got lye in it, don't it?
Some of it do.
Yeah.
Some of it do. My brother had it, but it smells. Oh my God. Cammy says, I don't think it should have been allowed in the first place. Right. Chris says, and the black guy won't know he has that problem until after he's in the military. Yeah, sometimes they don't know that. Chris Sincere says, people's moral compass are all fucked up.
Yeah,
now.
man,
This is true.
we're living in a society now where wrong is right and right is wrong.
Yeah, it's the complete opposite. So Chris says, so the thing is, the military can't handle special treatment requirements. Yeah, and so
especially financially, they can.
Especially because now you're talking about, and these drugs ain't cheap.
Right.
This stuff is not cheap that they got to take on a day-to-day basis. It's the same thing with people who are HIV positive having to take some of the drugs that they have to take just to keep their immune systems up.
Yeah, that would get you a medical discharge.
It's a medical, it's an honorable one, but it's a medical discharge. So, but at the same token, again, even on that, like be whatever you want to be, but don't come in my vicinity, in my area, and try to stuff it down my throat that that's what you're trying to be, and you should be this and you should be that, not to support you. I don't have to support you, just like you don't have to support me.
All right, guys, here's the last video.
What's Sincere say? Sincere says, when I was in the Army, I couldn't shave. They gave me a shaving profile, and it was still an issue depending on the leadership you have. Wow.
Here's the latest hotness.
Put some Lulu on his butt. Fuck a strand, we getting money. Fresh to death when I pop it, how you forever looking funny.
It's I don't know who posted this. I'll find out. I'll have to look in there. Almost tired looking at this.
So here's the controversy about this video, though, because the CEO of Lululemon had said something about he only wanted specific types of people in his Lululemon. And, you know, now that the specific type of people that he wanted in his Lululemon are not the ones that's actually wearing it, they have changed their protocol for Lululemon and made it to where they got sizes that go up to 20 now. Because I guess in the past, people who was wearing it looked like they was sick. It definitely wasn't people with curves.
What they got to do with
you in there thotting all up in the Lululemon store?
Yeah, explain to me what that has to do with that.
It's a controversial thing because as ignorant as we are as Black folks, and some of us are ignorant, I'm not condoning what they did. First of all, I don't agree with it. I think it was trashy and pointless, and I'm really sick and tired. Listen, don't get me wrong. The Megan Thee Stallions, the Lil Kims, and all of that, we all have them.
No, let's put them on stage with Kamala Harris. Like all them should have been on the stage with Kamala Harris, with Megan Thee Stallion and Nicki Minaj and them,
the twerking and all that.
Right,
At
so
the
they
end
can
of the
get
day,
votes. Is this how you getting votes now?
Apparently so.
I mean, I'm tired of this
Apparently
shit.
so.
And then these same women gonna go to a dude and say, "You supposed to respect me."
No, they go. No.
these
These same women gonna say, "I deserve a 6-figure man,
Right.
because look at me."
Man, come on, man. Lululemon. Lululemon.
Because look at me. Yeah.
Let me see who did this video. Hold on. This is called Treacherous Crimes. This is from the
Treacherous Crimes.
Yeah, the podcast
Okay.
Treacherous Crimes.
Oh
YouTube.
yeah, I did have that banner. I thought I had it.
Yeah, YouTube. Yeah, bunch of thoughts, man.
was there?
This is the problem I'm having with it. If y'all want to have respect, is that the proper way to demand it?
Nah.
If you want Lululemon to respect you, is that the proper way to demand it?
Nah.
Come on now, man.
First of all, you got to understand the way you present yourself is the way somebody's going to receive you. What you give is what you're going to get back.
And
so if you walk up thotting and tripping and trapping and shaking your ass and
when I saw that,
all
I could do was be embarrassed. And
it's very embarrassing, dude. And I'm like you. I'm like, it's like there's a time and a place for some of this stuff. Everybody got something in them where they got to let it out every now and again. Do that in the comfort of your home.
Yeah, they got clubs for that.
Yeah, and they got clubs for it.
I think every last one of them girls was a stripper.
Well,
Lululemon.
Sincere said acting trifling.
Jordan said, "Can you show the video again for scientific
purposes?"
Jordan, you ain't no good, man.
I think sis was trying to say some of these women have no respect for themselves. They don't carry themselves, and women, as long as they can shake their asses, that's all they'll do.
And if that's what Atlanta has to give, I don't want to go.
She said, "Let's just call a hoe a hoe."
What did Cammy say?
Let's just call a hoe a hoe. Chris says, "I don't even talk."
I knew this video was gonna get you started, Chris. That's why I made it the last.
You know what? You know what? As soon as I see the first line,
yeah.
Look, he says, "I don't talk to bitch no more." Sorry,
everybody
treasure.
say Lululemon. Come on, man. This is stupid.
Chris, I told you the reason why some of these women that you meeting and seeing are trash is because you seeing them in the wrong place, bro. For real. You know what I'm saying? Chris says, "I wish I could say it. It's black women or white women or Mexican women. You know, it's all women.
It's all of them crazy, man." But anyway, put up the questions banner for us, baby.
Sincere said that video looked like it stank.
It did. They scared all the Patreons out of there too.
No, they was in it. It was a couple of white ladies looking like, "Hey, Lululemon."
That's Atlanta for you. I guess I'll be bypassing Atlanta up.
We going past there to Florida to get us some authentic gators.
I'm not going.
People ask me what's the difference between vegans and vegetarians and plant-based, and I told them
one wear gators and one
don't. Right. See, if I was vegan, I wouldn't be going to Florida to get some gators.
Yeah, some people got leather hats and some people don't. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and if you wearing shoes, okay, so if you vegan, you wearing shoes, what you doing?
They not wearing shoes. They
what
wearing something. It ain't
they
shoes.
wearing like Air Moses's.
Like something. You got to, because what did you wear? Some Air Moccasins 3s. They got the new 3s.
Yeah, they got the new 3s.
What you say?
With the tweed laces.
1,000%
right,
cotton.
1,000% cotton laces.
Darian says, "Hey, they looking at themselves as lottery tickets." Another what the girl said in the movie. I'm trying to remember what it was. And then but see, the thing about it is, and we talked about this before, men do not look at you as a lottery ticket. They look at you as a piece of debt.
Cammy said, Florida is a thought nation too.
She said she don't go to Florida here. Yeah. They do it there too.
We just going
to get the gators.
It's an epidemic of thoughts.
We just going to have our gators custom made there because Florida has gators in abundance.
Yeah, I need some gator boots.
So we want some with the snouts on them.
I need them
gators. Hopefully ain't nobody from PETA watching.
I don't care about PETA.
You throw some paint on my gators, I swear for God.
PETA get the elbow smash.
PETA Piper eater. Pew pew.
Put up the questions.
I did. I put it up, but I was the people will see. There it is.
He said, "Go to Detroit."
They don't got no gators in Detroit, do they?
I don't know. I ain't never been to Detroit.
Said go to the D if you want some gators.
Yeah, that's Detroit.
Darius says, "Sing it. I'm in love with the stripper." Sing it, Sean.
I ain't singing that crap for them crazy hoes.
Yeah, but if y'all got some questions, y'all got a few more seconds and minutes to get them up there real quick. We gonna
hopefully y'all enjoyed the show. But while we waiting on y'all to ask a question, I'm gonna go ahead and
you gonna ask me a question?
No, I'm gonna thank the people who like. So Roddy narrator. Thank you for the laugh. Tico Leslie, thank you for the love. Jose Posa.
Jose 631.
Sonia Cheltenham, thank you.
Danon,
thank you for because I was about to mess it up.
I
was
about
to say Dan. My bad, Danon. Chris Thiesgen, thank you, brother.
You know it.
Ben Shit gets in the building. Akeem L in the building.
Cammy.
Darian in the building and Sincere in the building. I don't see Cammy. Cammy didn't give us no likes.
She did. It was up there.
Oh, was it? I missed
She
it.
gave us she laughed.
Oh, she did. Thank you for the laugh, Cammy. Appreciate you.
He said we known for Gators and Buffs. What? Y'all is? Detroit?
What, Buffalinos?
I guess.
What is Buffs?
I don't know.
What is a buff? That's
Cammy said booty rocking everywhere.
That's a buff is a Detroit lingo, ain't it?
I think so.
I don't know what that is.
That's that
You're going to have to put
Midwest.
me up on game on that, bro.
Yeah, that's that Midwestern. You know what I'm saying?
But yeah, man, y'all. Hopefully, y'all.
He said the Cartier glasses.
The Cartier glasses.
Oh, okay.
Well, y'all have a good evening. Hopefully, we had a good show for y'all. And that's just some of the latest news. Tune in next week for some more news because I'm sure it's going to be some more.
But before we go, man,
what?
We got a very special weekend coming up.
What's coming up this weekend?
For this Mother's Day weekend.
Oh, okay.
What you mean? What's coming up?
I ain't know.
Wow.
Yeah. I'll buy you some food. You know you're hungry. That's how I got you. I lured Snickers all the way to the altar.
Don't be telling my secrets.
You was in there. Oh, we getting that? Okay. You had chocolate on your dress. You had chocolate on your dress and everything.
Don't be telling my secrets. Don't be telling them you don't have people buying me
What's
snacks.
up, Joel?
Just to be buying snacks now. Peace and blessings, Joel. He said I missed the sinners conversation, didn't I? No, you did not. That was last week.
Last week, yeah, you missed.
You asked for it last week,
right?
That's all right. We'll bring it back up because we're gonna give everybody a chance to watch it again.
We're trying to let everybody
We're
watch.
trying to let people see that.
I'm about to pre-order it tonight, though.
We might watch it again tonight.
Well, it ain't out on, but I got to pre-order it
for us,
so I can get the discounted price.
Look, it's out for us. But listen, y'all, it's gonna be Mother's Day weekend coming up. If your mother is still here, honor her, bless her, give her flowers.
You should be blessing her every day anyway.
Every day anyway. But make this Sunday just even more
special.
Because
I know my mama is the bomb.
Just make her realize how special she truly is and what she really means to you, because we often don't realize that, the things that our mothers do for us, good, bad, indifferent, or ugly, we learn something from it. We grow from it. So just make sure you bless your mama this weekend and do something that you don't normally do. Make sure the house is clean. Make sure you shaved, that you smell
good. And if it ain't
good
clean, hire somebody to come clean it that week for her. You know what I'm saying? Send somebody over there to handle it.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Right. Because I'm not coming to clean, but I'll come over there and tell somebody what to clean.
She don't like when you put that stuff right there, so put that over there.
Right, yeah. Please put her stuff over here, please.
Listen, but anyway, for the mothers who are still here with us, we're going to say Happy Mother's Day to you, beautiful women, this weekend. Appreciate you, bro. And for the ones who are in heaven, we wishing you all a heavenly Happy Mother's Day. And we will see y'all next week.
Next week, y'all.
Chicken grease. You ain't got nothing you want to say,
y'all.
You don't have any final thoughts? Sean's final thoughts.
This is my final thought.
I should cut the show off. Why in the
middle? This is my final thought. Teach your motherfucking kids. Leave spandex in the stove. No more spandex. Why everybody got spandex?
I'm gonna go get some more.
Why?
Because when we work out,
but they wasn't in the gym.
But I go to the gym in my spandex.
They wasn't going to the gym.
I go to the gym in my spandex.
Stop complaining about your ramen noodles and your hair weaves going up. By the way, there's a new Asian store in Las Vegas. And they got a whole aisle just dedicated to noodles.
I'm going.
So if you're interested, y'all, hook us up. Me and my wife gonna go and we gonna film it while we're in there.
We going.
So y'all want to check that out? Y'all tune in, all right?
Joel, welcome to the club, bro.
What'd he say?
My prayers are with you. Peace and blessings.
Oh.
It's the first year without his mom.
Oh, sorry to hear that, Joel.
Yeah, welcome to the club, bro.
Sorry to hear that. But I leave y'all with this. Teach your children.
Please.
If you got children, teach them. If you got grandbabies, teach them.
Please.
Teach them what's right. Come on, man. I'm Sean Cheltenham. I'm one of the Hams.
I am Treasure Cheltenham, and I too am one of the Hams. And this is Wednesday night, 8 p.m., The Ham Show.
This is The Ham Show, y'all. Y'all tune in every Wednesday night. Please hit a like for the algorithm. Please send it to a homie. Let them know what we're doing over here. Please
tell a
like
friend.
and subscribe.
You got it.
Have a good evening, y'all.
We
Peace.
see y'all next.